when you get a divorce, I don't think you give much thought to the fact that other things are going to change in your life. And they do. And one of the things that happened was I had two young children, although Charlie was a very good father and saw the children as much as he could, and very often the children went on movie locations with him if they were not in school. But also we had friends, and a lot of my friends were made through Charlie. So there go the friends. And I had to start all over again, making new friends, but also finding something to do with my life, because my life revolved around Charlie, as happens to many women when they lose their husband, whether it's through death or through divorce. With many women who aren't working outside of the home, their life revolves around what their husband is doing. So I wasn't working outside the home, and I had to start all over again. So I began to try different things to, so to speak, reinvent myself. And this is after a couple of years of therapy. I mean, I was really depressed, and I had to have my wits about me because I had children. So this was a really difficult thing, on top of which, since Charles Bronson became famous, and before there were tabloids, there were fan magazines. So every time I went to the market, I would see a fan magazine with Charlie's photograph with the new woman he was involved with and her husband, who sanctioned that relationship. And that was an impossible thing for me to understand. Why didn't her husband care? I approached him on it. He just said, I'll never divorce her. It doesn't matter what she does. Which I don't know whether this happened to many other women or not, but I certainly was dumbfounded by it. So dealing with that and trying to get myself together through therapy and then through people who were helping me, I had an idea of going back and resuming the acting career I originally set out for before I met Charlie. And I got an agent, but nothing really moved within the 2 years the way I wanted it to, so I just dropped it. And one day I was reading a book to my son called No Dessert Till You Finish Your Mashed Potatoes. And it was a child's eye view of his mother. So I thought to myself, why can't a mother write a little book about her view of her children? And so I put together a little book. It's like one of these little books you grab when you're at the airport. I called it "Shut Up, I'm on the Phone." And I heard about a publisher, Price Stern Sloan, that published these little books, and got in touch with him, and I hired an illustrator. One thing led to another, and the book got published, a little book. And then I did another one called Do I Have a House for You, which showed in the ads what the ads say and what the houses really were. And it was sort of a book of humor. And I finished that, but I got into talk radio, and there I found my voice. That was something that I did by myself. I booked the show. This was on KABC Radio in Los Angeles, a big radio station. And I was on there for 4 years. And then I went to another radio station after that called KIEV in Glendale, and found my voice in radio, talking to people. My show was not about politics or religion. It was about lifestyles, human behavior, and the entertainment industry. So that worked out beautifully. A total of 9 years in radio, and I was really satisfied that I had done a good job when I left radio, and felt good about myself. Again, I tried voiceover work. That didn't work out too well. I tried representing a songwriter. That kind of worked out. And I just decided to try different things, because if you don't have anything, you have nothing to lose. So it would either work or it wouldn't work. So some things did and some things did not. But that was okay. At least I tried. And I did the best I could. And I believe that I did. So the last thing on my to-do list was my memoir, Charlie and Me. I was hoping that a lot of women would identify with my issues, and they did. They still do. And men who were fans of Charlie's became fans of mine, which is so interesting, after reading my book. And they wrote blogs, and Amazon had a lot of nice customer reviews. So that was a good thing. It wasn't something I did completely by myself, because I had a publisher and an editor, and my publisher is Timberlake Press. My editor is Sylvia Carey, and she kind of helped put everything together. And there are 40 photographs that have never been seen before. So that was a very satisfying experience for me. The reason I wrote the memoir is also has to do with putting things in print and having my children understand the why of things that happen and the order in which they happen. I felt would make it a little clearer to them, even though they knew certain things. And also my life before Charlie, that also is in my memoir. So they didn't know that much about that, but also I think that it helped them understand what had happened. Neither one of them ever blamed me for divorcing Charlie. In fact, I could not have lived with a man who was having relationships with another woman that I knew about. It would be impossible. It would be impossible to sleep with him, to cook for him, to wash his clothes, to love him. It would be impossible. There are a lot of women who do that. They do it for actually financial reasons. I can't do that. I could never do that, and I never would do that. It's just not part of who I am. I'm a person I'm loyal, and if I love someone, then that's it. I'm not interested in anybody else. And my husband, unbeknownst to me, was able to compartmentalize our marriage as being separate from his philandering. And since everybody knew, they say nobody knows, the wife never knows. Everybody knows but the wife. That's true. That's exactly was my situation.